Okay, we are live.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of Olympus Gaming. You may have heard of me, but you might not have heard of me. I am Andricus, and I'm actually taking over and doing a stint as GM. Uh, just due to not having GM'd in Fantasy Grounds before, we're taking a bit of a detour outside of GURPS territory and are going into D&D 5e for some lovely Curse of Strahd. We won't
Hooray.
do the entire adventure path in a single season because I am sure folks don't want to listen to me for the next 3 years. So we will aim for our usual campaign length and try to find a good place to stop and cycle through as we normally do. We have a fun cast of characters here today, and if everyone would be willing to go over and their some general highlights of their characters, and we'll go from there.
You say who?
Let's start with Revan.
All right, Revan is a half-elf paladin. He's not your usual paladin. He's not a strong guy. Doesn't wear heavy armor. He has opted for lightweight and finesse weapons. Um,
What is your one unique thing?
I don't have a one unique thing. I'll have to work that out.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. I don't believe I mentioned it before. Something that we are borrowing from another system called 13th Age is the concept of a one unique thing. Essentially, this is something unique within the entire world that only this particular PC has, and it's not really intended to offer much of a mechanical bonus. It's more flavorful, although it can have a minor gameplay benefit. And so we don't have to have it done now by any means, but it might be something that could be fun and add in a little bit of story stuff, especially as time goes on. Is that all for Revan?
All for now, yep.
Alrighty, let's go next to Raven Sly.
Hello, my name is Raven Sly. I am a male tiefling druid, and my backstory is I was born into a wealthy family, and on the day of my birth, my older sister, she passed away. Now, in part of her passing away, part of her essence flowed into our family heirloom necklace. It's a silver tooth with an embedded sapphire. And ever since then, it glows kind of during major life events, and is influenced by the spirit of my older sister. I grew up with my family until the age of 15, at which time I was given the heirloom necklace. And then 2 days later, it started to glow on me as I got kidnapped by a hag who, seeing me as a tiefling, felt she could have a son of her own. So, over the next year, she basically tried to force her ways upon me and through torture and abuse, just enslaved me for that whole year. She had a wolf with her named Remus that was also caged as well, and me and the wolf grew closer together and kept each other sane in a way. Um, and after my 16th day, for whatever reason, in a moment of compassion, the hag let me go for a couple moments of freedom, and taking my chance, I ran away and went deep into the Bavarian woods, where 5 days later a druid found me and me back to their enclave. It was during the next year that a lot of my mental scars were healed, and I embraced the calling of the druid and the balance of nature. And also, my bond with Remus grew even stronger. As the year passed, though, I could sense the hag's presence getting closer. I can feel her tracking me and watching me from a distance, and the influence that she left within me growing stronger. I did share my feelings with the Druid Enclave, and to protect them, they recommended I head to capital to seek allies in my quest against the hag. So, at the age of 17, I left the Druid Enclave with my wolf companion Remus, made my way to the capital, and while I was there, I was able to meet a band of allies. Definitely a mixed group of personalities and abilities, but they where my abilities were desired. So, unique thing that I have is I have my wolf companion Remus, and then also the family heirloom became magical at the time of my sister's death. And it basically counts as like augury. So at different moments, based on the GM's desire, it will glow and give me a sense of weal or a sense of woe, based on what's possibly coming up around the future. Uh, that's Raven Sly. Looking forward to work with my new allies and hopefully one day take down the hag.
Wow, that's a really long name. I'm just going to call you Raven for short.
All right.
Right.
Next up is Remus. I'm kidding. It's next up is Osmar.
Osmar the Wanderer, human monk from far away in the Outlands. One unique thing about me is that I may be the last of my people.
All right. Next up is, I feel like I'm going to butcher the pronunciations. Feel free to correct me. Is Genriel?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
General is a half-elf warlock. She's dark hair, dark olive skin, dark eyes. She wasn't raised in the mortal realm. Instead, her unique thing is she spent most of her life in the court of the Prince of Frost in the Fey realm and has only recently returned to the land of mortals.
Fantastic. And Donar.
Yes, he is the son of a distant king descended from outsiders. He is a Scourge Aasimar fighter. He was born and bred to be a warrior prince, but in his arrogance and stupidity, he resulted in a war between his father's realm and their neighbors. This was a war this father had tried to avoid, and as a result, he exiled him. And he can't return home until he, learns how to not be arrogant and stupid. And he will claim to be like the son of a god, and his one unique thing is he actually is the son of a god. He's just been stripped of all of his powers.
Fantastic. And last but not least is Gruce the.
The brute. I
Nope,
have no
it's just
last
Gruce
name.
the.
I'm going to take off D. I am not D. There is more to me than just D. I am Gruce. And I am fully human. But I was raised by orcs, the orc kind. I am a brute of a man, but my memory only begins as a member of the nomadic tribe of orcs. My tribe eventually was eradicated, as most tribes are, but I was the only survivor. I wandered.
Hey, that's my thing. As most tribes are.
Eventually, in my wanderings, my anger and my brutality was tamed by a human woman. However, fate would not have it, and I was accused of attacking her, although I was not. So I escaped with her very own help, and I have eventually found my way here to capital, where I have met you all, pups, where I protect you with my strength. Gruce is straight up human. He is raised as a orc in his youth. He does not remember anything prior to about his teenage years, so he has no idea how he came to be amongst the orcs or raised in their ways. He is primarily, he fights with his fists whenever he can, or those things which are around him. He is not all that bright, but he is loyal. his one unique thing, he's actually hunted from by the leadership of another small town for the apparent attack on the personage of the woman he loved at the time. But in his escape to capital, he kind of found new life as a bouncer, prize fighter, that kind of thing, and all-around muscle for the rest of the crew. His one unique thing is orcs and other goblinoids actually perceive him as one of their own. Everyone else looks at him, sees a straight-up just brute human. But orcs and other goblinoids actually see him, or actually perceive him as one of their own.
Will you say one thing for me in the Groose voice?
Orcs and goblinoids.
No, a specific thing.
The one thing.
I want you to say, "I am Groot."
I am Groose.
Groot.
I am Groose.
Fantastic. So, as you may have heard, some of the players and the backstories made mention to Capital. This is going to be where we start our lovely adventure. And if any of you fine viewers follow Matt Colville, this is actually his capital in his world that he's created called Orden. And so we'll be beginning there and moving Barovia from wherever it exists in D&D land over to an island off the coast of country Vesloria, which capital is in. And with that, we will dive into it. So, you guys have been on an adventure or two in the past, and to get you to level 1, and of course make money and start your noble journeys and such. And as part of that, you see in the tavern that you will start in one of the districts owned by the Fulcrum, the Sayers Guild. They're the purple on the lower right. You're in the tavern over there, and you see a notice on a board about looking to find a family member that was in a town called Barovia. It is inside the link in the chat box. Unfortunately, I cannot share the image due to some shenaniganery going on with Fantasy Grounds that we have not figured out as of yet. So unfortunately, chat might not be able to see it. However, it exists. I can confirm that.
I linked to it in Twitch.
Wonderful, thank you. So you'll be starting off down there. In that tavern, there is that usual notice board you've come to know and love for folks who post, "Hey, help me with my rat problem," or things of that nature. And among the other jobs such as that, you find notice of that missing relative, and essentially the requester is looking for an adventurer or a group of adventurers to head to this place called Barovia.
And based off what we understand, Raven already is from Barovia.
Correct, yeah. Sorry.
So we've heard all sorts of bad stories about this place.
Not so much. A lot of my backstory probably pretty private, as I don't really share my experience with the hag too much.
That's kind of amusing. Okay, so the tiefling is really quiet and closed-mouthed about his background, and the Isomar tells everybody who will listen, and those who won't.
Have we been told about Strahd?
He was on the title card.
Rescue girl.
Yeah, you find a nice postcard at the top, says, loving from Barovia, Strahd. No, it's just mentioning, hey, something may have gone on. Haven't heard from my sister, and she usually sends a letter every month, and I've sent a few. I sent 3 or 4 letters, and no response has been sent back.
I mean, from Raven. Have we heard about Strahd from him?
Probably not. What I'm thinking is that Raven probably grew up in Capital, got kidnapped from Capital, brought to Barovia by the hag, and he escaped away from Barovia after his time with the Druid Enclave back to Capital. Because I don't want to ruin the story of Strahd.
Okay.
Well, sounds like a good thing. Oh, so, what are the specifics about this missing person?
The specifics say look for her, and it will include. One moment, I need to find it because I have not pulled that image up. One moment, but essentially, I'll learn. I promise. But essentially, it is going to It is saying go ahead and look for my sister, and if you find her, there'll be a reward of about 100 GP. Bring back some letter from her, a token from her, just something identifying that yes, she is alive and well.
Someone in need, we must help.
What the heck do we know about Barovia? How far away is it? How long is it going to take us to get there?
So,
Would I have heard anything on?
Whoa, what was that?
sorry, go ahead.
Would I have heard anything about Barovia in my time realm?
Your microphone is doing weird things.
Of course it is.
You might have heard whispers of some new upstart over there, but beyond that, not much. You're expecting the. Actually, you know what? This is a good time for the first roll in the campaign. One moment. Go ahead and roll me a history check. Anywhere interested.
History. Woohoo! First roll. Wait, how do I do that?
Alrighty.
Select the right button.
Okay.
I don't think that was right. Hang on, I think something got out of whack. Give me just a sec.
What's her intelligence?
Okay, her history's +4. I think when I changed to the Warlock class, it bumped up some of my scores that I had already put in by hand. So it's a +4. So it'd be at 19.
Okay. 19, 19, 13.
All I
Alright.
can tell you guys is there's a hag over there that I really detest. We must kill her when we get a chance.
Of course.
Sure, if it's on the way.
So,
She may find us.
So for you, Raven, you pretty much. So for all three of you, General, Donar, and Raven, you guys recognize that it is a relatively minor and out of the way island off the coast of Vazloria. It keeps up some trade with capital. However, it's not exactly one of the more populous places, and is pretty. Pretty much it's out of the news unless something catastrophic happens there. Not too many folks pay attention to it. General and Donar, you two know that it'll take about a week and a half, depending on the wind, to sail there from capital.
boy. Sailing, woohoo!
This might be a good time to commune with the water spirits.
General kind of arcs an eyebrow and looks up from the tome that she's scribbling in. Mm-hmm. And then goes back to scribbling.
Now we need to find a boat or a ship that is going in that direction.
Groose, build us a boat.
I think he's drunk. That's why he's AFK.
Well, if you guys would like to go to the docks to look for a boat, that is
Yes.
absolutely an option.
Now the question is, how much money is that going to cost us? I think I actually spent every bit of my coinage during character creation.
I can
I
check
have-
with my family and see if they'd be willing to support us.
I have a little bit of coin left.
I have some, but
rather
I
not
fear
spend it, though.
it's not enough for a trip.
Oh, that's interesting.
What's the reward for this mission?
The poster of the notice is saying he will give 100 GP for the return of the notice of his sister.
By the way, Revan will actually rip the
We
notice
should
off the board.
negotiate.
Do we need to go check in with this person before we leave?
That's a
Maybe
good
we
idea.
could
We could
negotiate
ask some
travel
questions about
expenses.
how to find her.
The notice makes no mention of it. However, if you would, that is up to you.
I recommend we go talk to this person.
All right. General closes her book, puts away her quill and ink, and stands. Where can we find this individual, and what's his name? Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. I was writing.
The name that's attached to the notice is Jonan Indirovich. It
That's a
doesn't.
tongue twister.
That's a notice.
It doesn't exactly mention like a home address or anything like that. However, it says if you have it, then feel free to go ahead and leave it with the innkeeper of the Starlit Night. It's an inn that's actually just about a 10-minute walk away from where you are now.
So since Revan has the
Oh,
notice,
poor people.
he will say, we leave it at the Starlight Inn, and he'll sort of hold up the notice. So we can ask there, I guess.
All right.
The innkeeper apparently knows something about it.
Ha ha!
So Revan will fold up the notice and slide it into his jacket.
Well, shall we go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Should the rest of you see about procuring transportation to the island?
Well, maybe
She
the
looks to
innkeeper
the
might
others.
know a way of for us to get.
I can at least go down to the docks and find out, if there are any ships or boats or anything like that heading in that direction anyway.
Day one, split the party.
Not
What
even
can
an
go
hour
wrong?
in.
All right. Is that indeed the plan you wish to pursue?
Until
Yes.
it blows up in our face.
So who all is going to the inn?
General will go to the inn.
I'll go to
As
the inn
with-
as well. Raven.
As will Revan. Actually, Revan's going to go to the Department of State and change his name because it is too close to Raven.
Mm. Smart.
Oh no, now he's the other Darren.
Aaron and Donar aren't brothers?
Bash Brothers.
Now it's too close to Donar. All right.
I was expecting him to just go Bob.
All right. So we'll deal with those of you who go to the Starlit Night first. You guys make the trek and admire the architecture that's there. It's relatively nice, for this part of the city. You get into the tavern, and it's a bit more upscale than the inn you were at previously. In keeping with the motif, the tables are have a nice tablecloth that's black with a few embroidered white stars on the design, and same with the upholstery on the chairs and such. And at the counter, you see it's a really nice black marble, and it actually has much of the same design with a mix of gold and white on there. And you see a elven man standing behind the counter, and there's a few patrons scattered about as well. And there's a staircase off to one side that looks like it goes up to a second floor.
All right. General will look around, take in the surroundings. I wouldn't want to know how much a room here would cost.
I think I've been here before.
He was chased
Yeah, I
out.
remember with my father.
Well, fortunately, you won't have to. We're only here to see the innkeeper.
Mm-hmm. Now, shall we?
Yes, let's go to the innkeeper. So we go out to the innkeeper. I'll introduce myself to the innkeeper.
Hello there. Welcome to the Starlit Night. What can I get you today? Room, drink, food?
My name is Raven, and we noticed this posting looking for adventurers to find Arena Coliana. We were wondering if you had more information that could provide us.
Oh, may I see the note?
Pass it over.
He really should do things. Or really should tell me before he does things like this. Yes, I do know the man in the notice, and he did leave. He did make some mention about others stopping by, possibly asking about him, but he mentioned that he didn't say much about his sister or anything like that, and so I'm afraid I can't exactly tell you much more. But he did leave a little bit of a purse here, and he hands it over and says, maybe this will help you in some way and get started.
General will kind of.
Yeah,
Oh, General's going to try to
Go ahead.
jet a hand out and take the purse before Raven can get it.
Wow, General, you trust me? Haven't we been together long enough?
You have horns, man.
Just all part of her personality.
Thanks, General.
She'll kind of.
How much
open
is
up
in there?
Yeah, she'll open up the purse and start kind of
$1.50.
nudging through it to count.
It looks like there's about 25 GP in there.
That might be
Man,
enough
this
to get
dude's
us a boat
doing
ride.
well. This dude's doing well if he's just handing out, 25 gold pieces.
I asked the innkeeper, do you know how much it would, do you by chance know how much it would cost to get a boat ride to Barovia?
Barovia? Where's that?
Okay, never mind. Hey, thank you for your assistance. We're gonna try to seek more information on Arena Liana. Get back to you when we do.
Do you know where
Oh.
we can find the individual in this note? This man?
He tends to come and go and stays here when he's back. I think he's a merchant or of some sort. I don't see him too often. He left about a week or two ago, as far as I can remember from him checking out of his room. I'm afraid I don't know when he'll be back. It might take a few months, so I can't say much else.
Well, I wouldn't call it a dead end, and she kind of waves the purse. This should hopefully pay for a boat at least.
All right, well, let's head on down to the dock and see what the guys have figured out.
And we walk away.
Alrighty, so you start making your ways towards the docks. Speaking of the docks, the group who are going to there, there's quite a few. However, the set of piers that you find yourself at seem to be crewed by, or seem to be holding a few ships here. There's a particularly large one that's double-masted, and then you have a few smaller, assorted single-mast ships in a variety of shapes and sizes beyond the mast, and you see a ton of sailors bustling in and out and trying to get a number of porters trying to not run into each other, and there are a few cranes around as well lifting in various cargo at this pier and others.
Ah, smell the sea air.
So it looks like, as looking around, you see there are a few almost what look like small offices that a variety of crew walk into and out of, and you occasionally see someone with a clipboard, taking walking up from the office and selling a horse and riding away, and yeah.
I'll walk into one of the nearby port authority offices or whatever. It's like, point my big old fat sausage fingers at somebody. You, where go boat to Barovia?
Yes, we are looking for a boat to Barovia. Can you help us?
Sorry, so this is one of the cargo administration offices. You'll have to go to one of our passenger desks over in Pier 2.
Bah, you know nothing. Worthless. I leave.
I can't take him anywhere, can I?
What he means is, I'm Groot.
That's all we heard. Pier 2,
But
here we come.
it's just hang a left and then a right and then 3 lefts, 4 rights, and then pull a U-turn and go and take another left.
I think I got that.
Why don't we just grab him and make him take us there?
Because he's busy. We can find it.
We more important.
Did I tell you about the time that I caught the world serpent while fishing?
You caught a snake while fishing.
No, the world serpent.
Okay, it was a big snake.
I hope we can find Pier 2.
I split the jaw of an ox right off.
Luckily, I think we have Osmar with us, and if he's a monk, that means he's going to have the decent wisdom that neither Donar nor Gruz probably have.
Surprisingly enough, I have a 14 wisdom.
Never mind.
Speaking of wisdom, give me
No,
a
you don't. You have
perception
a
check.
12.
Ugh. Perception. Why does it say 9? That's not right.
How do you actually do a perception check? It doesn't have a die roll on
I
it.
think on the first page.
Go to your skills
Wow.
tab, and you'll see perception.
Oh,
Just
okay. There we
double
go.
click.
Look at that one. She pretty lady. Hey, pretty
do
lady. Look at my muscles.
You do successfully identify that person as a woman, yes.
This is funny. Phil, the stream post that you put up, I was just about to drop that into the GURPS group.
Dull. Wow, yeah, see, that's why we brought Osmar along, because Donar and Gruz are arguing about whether the world serpent classifies as a snake.
And yeah, Osmar, you are able to successfully navigate the group over to Pier 2 and find another similar looking building as Gruz and Donar barged into back there.
You fools. It's this way.
But it wraps around the entire world, so it's not just a snake.
But it has no legs.
If it wraps around the entire world, how come we cannot see it?
You're not here, and it's underwater.
I thought you pulled it out of the water.
I threw it back in. You don't want to eat it. Ew.
You fools. This way.
We're coming. He's talking about snakes again.
I will lead them to Pier 2.
Ha ha! See? Told you we'd find it.
It's a scene much similar as the original pier that you guys showed up at. However, instead of a bunch of cargo and crates and cranes, you instead see a few more vessels, and some of them tend to be a bit more upscale than the others you saw back there, and some are being boarded by people in fancy suits and dresses, and others you see are a collection of just a collection of what look like common people boarding as well, and with some ships lining up in the distance ready to take new berths.
I waylay one of the dock workers. Which of these boats goes to Barovia?
You'd have to check in with the port authority officer. I'm just heading east. My ship's going east. Just please don't hurt me.
Is Barovia east?
I don't know where Barovia is.
Ah, useless.
I drag him to the port authority.
All right. So you walk in there and you see while it is similar looking, it's actually just a little bit bigger, and they have a few desks set up that people are queued in front of, and it has a bit of a second floor with like an overlook, and you see some people up there carrying clipboards and slates and writing up what look like some form of like arrival and departure schedule for the various ships up on these large chalkboards for the people below to see.
I guess we'll wait our turn then.
All right. Yeah, it takes a few minutes to get through the line, and then as you walk up to the desk, you see it looks like a the bit of a gnome sitting on a higher stool with a giant Rolodex book in front of him, and he says, "Yes, may I help you?"
Seek passage to Barovia.
Barovia. One moment, and he starts flipping through his
Paul,
book.
you're hot micing again.
What?
You're hot micing. You may want to set push to talk.
And he starts flipping through his book to try to find some mention of it, and he seems to be flipping through quite a lot of pages, and then eventually he kind of grumbles a bit and gets down from his seat and walks to one of the it looks like some sort of filing cabinet in the back, and flips around between a few different shelves, and eventually finds a almost like a just particularly small book, and comes back and starts going down the line, and seems the last ship left for Barovia about 3 months ago. However, here we go. It looks like we actually have one that is scheduled to depart here in the next 6 hours or so.
Aha!
Great. What ship?
It is called the Wayward Wind, and it is, according to these records, and he flips back to his larger book and flips through it for a few pages. Looks like it's a single-mast clipper known as the Wayward Wind, yes. It's currently... it has not arrived in port just yet. It is scheduled to arrive in about an hour. Looks like it was doing a smaller ferry. Yeah, it's a smaller vessel, and with the looks like this is just a small layover for it. It has already restocked and handled most of its cargo on another of the piers in capital, and it looks like it's just looking to pick up a few passengers, perhaps.
Is there a mandated price from capital, or do we just negotiate with the captain?
You'll need to negotiate with the captain, sir. We don't take payments for passengers here.
Thank you. Come on. Come on.
Coming. Now, you say you throw snake back. Why no eat it? Snake good, but cooked right.
Because it is fated to kill me on at Ragnarok. I'm fated to kill it.
Has
as
that
well.
been enough time for the others to catch up with us at the docks?
Why not kill it when you caught it before you throw it back? Throw it back dead.
Well, to be fair, I didn't actually throw it back.
To be fair.
The guy I was with on the boat cut my line,
test.
so I couldn't finish it.
Yep, we hear you.
Mike?
And yes, that this would be enough time after waiting around for about 10-15 minutes. A very confused looking group of party members shows up around the corner of one of the streets just out.
Well, I'll tell them about the Wayward Wind and our luck in catching the only ship to depart for Barovia for 3 months from here.
Wayward Wind. Sounds like a fart.
Oh, it does.
So how much longer before the rest of us make the docks?
You just did.
You just made it.
That's who I was talking to.
The party has successfully reunited without death.
Wow.
Well, it seems we're in luck. Let's find this boat.
I waylay some dock worker. Where's the Wayward Wind?
The guy said it wasn't in port yet, but would be soon. So I think we just have to wait for it to come in.
Then he is useless.
As soon as you say
Well,
that, he just starts kind of squirm out of your grip and run away.
Yeah, General will call after him. Don't mind him.
After some time, the dock you're currently at pier has a few slips, and after some time you see a relatively small and not very impressive looking ship arrive and tie up and begin to, looks like, disembark a few passengers. And checking the scribe on the side, you see that it is indeed the Wayward Wind.
That's our
The-
ship, gentlemen.
So
yeah, the
how
people
long
at the
does
port
it take to
authorities
get?
said we'd have to negotiate with the captain for a price.
So how long does it take to get to Barovia?
Let's go meet Captain.
I believe we determined it would be a week if sailing.
Bruce get hungry in 1 week. Bring more food.
There'll be food.
Maybe we catch our snake in the water and eat it.
Perhaps it would eat you.
Just punch my way out.
All right,
Yes.
so we are walking that way while the two of them are discussing the snake again.
You see a... one moment. You see a few people disembark from the ship, and they just start heading off in a number of directions. And looks like they're just various passengers on the ship. And you find
They
what
look
looks like the
very
captain.
angry.
Not a cheery lot, are they?
I know, right?
Maybe go Barovia. Bad idea.
What kind of toy does that kid
But you,
have
I
down
had a very
there?
bad experience in Barovia, so it's not a fun place.
Right?
It's a puppet.
All right.
After those folks disembark the ship and head on their merry way, there's
Merry
left
way. Them?
They don't look merry at all.
This is
I mean,
the merry way? Holy
It-
cow!
there may be
Well,
asterisks.
Name might be Mary. Named Mary.
There may be some asterisks around Mary.
Yeah.
But yeah, you find the crew there, and there's looks like some form of officer at the bottom of the ramp leading onto the ship.
It has a parasol named Kaylee Fry.
Shiny.
Oh, wrong genre. Sorry.
I
you
asked
see-
one of the crewmen of the boat if they could point out the captain.
Captain's currently below deck settling affairs, sir. The best bet would be to deal with the lieutenant of the ship over there, and points out to one of the men in fancier looking clothes at the bottom of the ramp.
We head over there. I head up to him.
Hello there. How can I help you?
Yes, we're looking for passage to Barovia. Or how much would it cost for the group of us?
For the group, let's see. Wolf coming too?
That is correct.
Okay. Doesn't bite, does it?
Not unless I do too.
And his name's
Okay.
not Wolf. It's emergency rations.
That's a very odd name for a wolf, but who am I to say?
I will tell the wolf to bite you if you say that again.
I've eaten wolf. Gamey. Kind of stringy.
Well, I think the captain will be.
Druidic. Groose, you're about to die.
Oh.
Well, I think the captain will be happy. I think the captain will be happy with just about being able to get anyone to go back there. So I imagine that with the and he sort of eyes Remus with the hazardous passenger package, looking at about say 30 gold for the crew, for the lot of you.
Remus, my wolf companion is very safe.
30 gold? For someplace you say you have a hard time getting people to go there? Surely that seems a little steep.
There you go. Negotiate.
Go ahead and roll persuasion. Well, you're sad to say you're not wrong. All right. How about say 25?
She'll kind of mull that over and then look around at the rest of the group. Is it like this is an out of character question? Would that be like a normal fee for a boat trip for a week?
Less. This is below standard fare.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's 25 each.
Total.
Or total.
They're
Which
desperate.
side are you on?
All right. So, seeing if she'll give the rest of the group any time to object to that price.
You want to pay 25 each when we're only getting paid 100 total for the whole job?
25 total
No,
for
it's 25
the ship.
Yeah, I know, but
Everybody.
I get that. That's not who I was talking to.
All right.
Carry on.
So, General will pull out the pouch of coin that we got from the innkeeper and hand it over. There should be 25 gold pieces in there. That should cover us. And she'll watch while he counts it out.
And he does indeed do so. And at the end of counting, he kind of jiggles it in his hand a little bit more and just, all right, well, welcome aboard to the Wayward Wind. And he looks over up the ramp and sees a few of the crew laying about. Hey, Jimbo, Marco, take these group below decks, show them where they're staying, and avoid the teeth on the furry one.
Groose trapped under deck. I prefer above deck.
Don't worry, Groose doesn't bite hard.
So they
That's not what my uncle said.
I was about to say, don't give him a false sense of security. He will totally bite you.
So Darian will step on board and he'll stop for a moment and pause as he has a brief flashback of a British naval uniform and a similar ship, and then continue.
Nice.
Before I step onto the boat, I grab my family necklace and I hold on to it, wondering if my sister will speak to me or give me a sense of what's coming.
You kind of hold it and thumb the gem for a little bit, and at first nothing seems to happen, and it seems to just issue a little bit of a mixed glow. You'd see a little bit of both a blue and a white glow come from the gem.
That's what I expected. I head up with the wolf, making sure Remus remains calm, and I definitely get with the crewman to find a place for him to be.
All right, the two lead you below decks, and it looks like there are Primarily, essentially, just a few rack spaces and maybe a hammock or two, and that's sort of where they're expecting you to set up shop.
Lovely.
They say, make yourselves comfortable, or as comfortable as you can be. We're expecting to stay in port for a few hours yet, and then we'll be on our way.
Is it okay if we spend time above decks?
I don't see a problem with it. We're going to be loading a little bit of cargo, but as long as you keep an eye on where the crew is and just ask you to stay a bit of the ways and just be aware of what we're trying to do, and all should be just fine.
Where's the ale on this boat?
Captain's orders. We're a dry ship.
What? He looks. Bruce looks at Jadriel, and Dag's like, with that look, like, please make it not so.
She just kind of shrugs. And she'll go over and find a quiet spot to sit down and pull out her scribe set and start writing again.
All right. Is there anything any of you would like to do during this little bit of time before the ship sets sail?
Yeah, Bruce is gonna go find and buy a couple casks of beer.
I was about to say, I was like, yeah, Donar's probably going to do the same. Because I was wrong. I do have some slight money.
Alrighty. Yeah. Crew says we'll be back around. We'll be expecting to set sail around the 7th bell. So just make sure I'll be back by then. Captain doesn't like to wait, even for passengers. So best be back before then.
Let's see, how much is a barrel?
I go up on deck and I find a place that's kind of secluded and kind of start communing with nature with Remus sitting next to me.
Oh, God, he's one of those.
Remus kind of sits down, then eventually goes to lay down and starts to just kind of relax up on the deck, and you start to as you're meditating and starting to commune, you feel the breeze of the sea air and the slight smell of salt that it brings with the water and with the ocean water, and yeah.
Smell that smalt air.
How much is a couple casks of beer?
It's a really good question.
That is an excellent question.
See, a barrel is 2 gold pieces.
Well, that's a barrel. So now we gotta fill it. How much is?
Weight 70 pounds.
I have my cargo.
There's another one.
Let's see. It depends on the quality. Yeah, for poor, you're looking at 3 gold, 5 for medium, or 8 for good.
How much?
Yeah, that would be barrel.
I don't need poor. I got enough for 2 of the medium.
Why do you need better than poor? It's going to be pee in a few hours.
Well, that's a good point. He makes
it's about gallons.
Yeah, so I'll do. So you said how much for the poor quality beer?
3 gold.
All right, so 6, and there goes. Sold.
Ethan, could you please delete Revan from the character selection?
And how much that way? Not that it really matters. It's not like
70 pounds.
nice.
Sure hope Donar and Groose don't miss the boat because they're drunk.
I could have told them, we can just distill some of Remus's pee, and it would be just as good alcohol.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Not for Groose.
I'm not a smart man, but that's disgusting. I don't know what you devil types drink, but
Hey, we made it back to the boat before it left. What?
16
No,
gallons of
this
beer.
is just a barrel. There's nothing in it.
Speaking of which, as you start to make your way back to the ship and start walking across the piers, someone in a looks like some form of fancy uniform. It's a nice blue cloth with golden buttons, very formal looking, with a posh hat. Comes up to you and says, "Excuse me, that looks to be quite a quantity of goods you have there. Perhaps may I inspect it?"
No.
Why would you want to inspect my drink?
Ah, so it is a drink, eh? He kind of takes out a clipboard he was carrying with him in his.
keep walking.
Sir, you have to pay the export duties, sir.
Export duties? I'm
Sir.
going to drink this.
You'll have to drink it on the pier. I can't allow you on the ship without unless that's empty.
You stop me for beer?
Yes, sir. You have to pay export duties on that beer. That's a quantity in excess of the export allowance issued statute.
How much do I need to drink before it's under this whatever?
I can't let you leave with more than 3 gallons.
You want 3 gallons of my beer?
No, sir. You have to be carrying under 3 gallons of beer in that barrel before I can allow you to take it on a ship, unless you pay the export duties.
But I can carry more than 3 gallons.
It provided you pay the fee. Yes.
I paid the fee. I bought these beers. I paid.
No, sir. You must pay another fee, the customs export fee, in order to. You may have bought the beer, yes, but now you must pay to allow us to leave the city. Allow you to leave the city with it.
Do I hear what's going on?
Useless, and I walk off.
You probably start hearing Gruce's shouting at this point, with Gruce's continual walking away towards the ship and the customs officer keeping up. You probably start to hear rumblings of useless and why and but sirs coming from their direction.
So I tell Remus to stay, and I head down off the boat in the direction of Groose.
And how much is this export fee?
For the
3
quantity,
gallons,
no, sir, no. For a barrel of that size, if it is filled with ale, it will be about 2 gold per barrel.
We have 3 barrels, is that right?
sounds right. And we paid like 3 gold per barrel.
Right.
If you got the medium, it was 5.
No, we paid the 3.
Oh, you got the pour? Okay.
I didn't.
Oh, he got the better.
I ain't gonna drink, piss. Ugh. I was raised better than that. I was raised drinking Valkyrie beer. Is there no way to get around this or pay less? It seems
No?
excessive.
This is the official statute.
Before I get up to the group, I do a cantrip thaumaturgy, and I do some ominous whispers behind the customs officer.
And as you kind of finish the casting of the cantrip, he almost looks like he is starting to turn around and kind of scratching behind his head, and is just turning around a little bit. And but by and large, he's managing to keep his attention if he is a bit distracted. Yes, you must pay the you. Yes, you must pay the customs fee.
I'll tap keg and I'll bring you 3 gallons.
Sir, no, I need you. You must take fewer than 3 gallons, or you must pay 2 gold per barrel.
I drink more than 3 gallons.
Unless you can.
Are they still off the ship at this point?
Yes, they're still down there on
All
the
right, I'm gonna
start
come
of the
take one
pier.
of the casks. I say, thanks. This one's mine.
I get up to them and I tried to persuade the customs officer to drop the matter.
3 gallons each, right?
No, sir, no. And yes, go ahead and roll the persuasion check.
Right. Yeah. I have.
If he doesn't take them all himself, that's less than 3 gallons per person.
Right. I have more friends. I share my beer. We each 8 gallons.
No, this one's
cask.
my beer.
What?
Oh boy.
You want me to go buy you keg
This
of
isn't
beer?
gonna work.
Sir, it's
All right,
unless
how
you
much
can.
is how much is the customs fee?
How about I give you
I tried.
5 gold instead?
Tree fitty.
Nope.
How much is the
Sir,
customs fee?
sir, were you attempting to bribe a customs officer, sir?
You
That's-
just asked
Is that
for
not
3
how
That's
gallons
not-
of beer. He offers money. What you want? Money or beer?
How much
He-
is the customs fee? Shut up, Bruce. How much is this
It's
customs
5
fee?
gold.
He kind of
I-
glares over at Donar, and it's 6 gold for all 3 barrels, sir.
6. He's like, you're gonna play with his fingers like he's counting. Oh, yes, it is
Sir,
6.
I can
Sorry.
afford. I can honestly afford 4 gold pieces. Would that be enough?
That would clear 2 barrels for customs, sir. One of the barrels
Turn
would
and walk
not have to
away.
stay behind. Sir, you can't go. Sir,
got
we
you.
must resolve this matter.
He just pay you 4.
I do I do another cantrip to the side and more ominous whispers behind his head.
He does kind of stop in his tracks instead of chasing after Groose, and looks around, and behind him is, did you all hear that? And it almost sounded like someone was calling my name. I don't.
Are you distracted? Are you okay?
And he kind of shakes his head a little bit. And, yes, I'm fine. I just wait. Did the other one already go on the ship? That's not allowed.
Here's
Sorry.
the additional 2 gold.
I'm sorry, but we gotta go. We kind of rush up the boat.
All right, did you give him the 4?
I didn't give him any money. He was distracted.
All right. Well, he says, thank you, with you handing over the 2, and he starts to turn around and walk away. And like, wait a minute, I didn't. And then he looks up, and you're all already gone. He's in the post character left scene. He's writing notes on his clipboard and muttering under his breath, and walks back to where he was originally standing when he saw you all.
Man, that size, drink 3 gallons of beer, he die.
Groose and Donar, you and your beer. Oh man, you guys need to commune with nature a little bit more.
I commune with nature every morning. I leave my deposit.
What you do in your private time, leave it in your private time.
All right. Is there anything else you all would like to take care of?
No, I think we're all ready for the boat trip.
I contemplated
All-
going to get some more beer, but nah.
Alrighty. The crew starts to get a bit more bustling as it draws near to the 7th bell, and they eventually start hear some clunking. It sounds like the ramps being pulled away, and crew's taking all the ropes up, and they begin to set sail, and you hear the officer of the deck shouting off some commands, and away you go. Alrighty, roll me a general d20.
Who?
Just in general, quote unquote reaction roll. I'll take that 17. And as you guys are sailing along, the trip isn't exactly the most relaxing, but the wind seems to be keeping steady, and so you guys managed to make it. And about partway through the 8th day of the trip, you hear one of the crewmen shout, "Land ahoy!" And the crew starts bustling about, and it seems like they're getting ready to dock the ship.
All right, we wait for them to dock the ship.
All right, so they start sailing up, and similar as to that time that seems so long ago, you hear the similar thunk, and the captain comes down to let you know that we have indeed arrived, and if you could please disembark, that would be much appreciated so the crew can resume their normal duties.
Outstanding.
Am I feeling any presence nearby? As in the hag?
Not at this time. You don't sense anything exceptional, no.
Good. Oh, let's go look at Barovia. I head up on
Do we have
top
any?
of the.
Yeah.
Head up on top, look out into the city or dock.
All right. As you step onto the dock, you realize it's not a cheerful place. The scowls on the other folks' face as you seems to have been well earned. The pier itself seems to be relatively shoddy, and it looks like you're using the only slip that's available. Most of the others seem to be in some sort of disrepair, be it broken or just otherwise incredibly fragile looking. And as you look on, you see just a few dilapidated buildings and what looks like just a small or moderate patch of dirt and a trail that leads off into the distance. It looks like there's just one or two buildings and not much else besides like a wagon that the crew seem to be offloading their supplies on, and that's essentially about it.
Is there any dock workers?
You see two people. You recognize the crew, but there's only about two others who are working at the time.
Is this like a
And
small town, you said? Or is this
no,
just
this is just like a minor port.
So
Well,
it's just
port
kind of
is probably an overstatement.
more like a dock somewhere off.
Yeah. Based off of just based off this is not. You wouldn't call this a village by any sense of the imagination.
So there are buildings and all that kind of stuff.
There's one building towards the end of the pier where it rises up and to a small sort of staircase carved out of aged stone, and then there's another two buildings at the top, and one of them seems to be a barn of some sort, and the other just looks like a run down you can't really tell what it is, but there's a wagon in front of it, and that seems to be where the crew has taken the few crates that they brought with them.
I'm going to one of the locals. You sad-faced man, where can we find drinks?
The whole town turns around.
Drinks. Drinks.
Yes.
That'll
Drink.
probably be back in Barovia itself.
This
Point us in that direction, sir.
And just kind of lazily raises a finger, and it goes in the direction of the direction that the trail seems to be leading.
Ha! Thank you very much. Cheer up. It's a lovely day. You're still alive.
Is it lovely?
It's a good
Can
time.
you call this living? And he mutters as he just kind of goes off and keeps on working.
They need to drink more beer.
They do. Or at least fight some giants or something.
I'll yell up to the deck. It's like, you can keep the barrels. They're empty now.
We're a transport ship, not a garbage dump. Please come collect your odd belongings, sir.
They throw the barrels at him.
They roll down the ramp, and it doesn't roll off the other side of the pier just because they do have a railing set up, but it kind of just hammers and just a loud thud as each barrel hits that railing.
Bruce, go pick up your barrels.
They're empty. What do I do with the barrel?
You can put more in them when we get there.
Oh.
Exactly.
Don't
That'll save us some money.
The guy that we were just talking to, the one that said you called this living, when everyone's dealing with their barrels and stuff, Darian's going to go and find him, and he'll ask, "What do you mean by that? You call this living?"
Well, I'm a dock worker, and we don't get traffic. I make a pittance and work and wait and wait and wait.
What's wrong with everyone here? There seems to be a lack of cheer.
Welcome to Barovia.
We should have
Hey.
brought a bard.
Can you put up the picture of the one woman we're supposed to be looking for?
I can.
You should be able to find it if you click in the maps thing and poke around with the existing ones.
Well, Darian will just let the guy go about his business, and for a few moments Darian will just stand there confused. He didn't really get an answer to his question. Then he'll head back to the party.
General.
I asked
look
one of
at
the dock. I asked one of the dock workers, where is the port master?
He just kind of looks and says, I think he's over there.
I asked him, do you recall seeing a woman come through lately? Or by chance know a woman by the name of Irina Kolyana?
Rena. It sounds familiar, but I'm not quite sure. Perhaps she's back in town.
Thank you. I head over to the port master.
Okay. Hello. Can I help you?
Yes, we're here to find some information on a woman named Irina Kolyana. And since I know you don't get many travelers through Barovia, do you recall anyone new that might be matching her description? And I describe what she looks like.
No one's passed through here that would match that description. No.
Out of character, I'm not sure that we think she's new to Barovia. It's that she was sending a letter every month, and then 3 months ago the letters stopped.
Oh,
What were you going to say, Mel?
She was going to look at Darian as he walked back over and ask, "What did he say?" So, yeah, that's okay.
Did we lose Brian?
Sorry, I was AFK. Was what was asked of me?
General's going to ask what that dock worker said to you because of the expression of confusion on your face.
Darian will shrug and says, "Nothing. I asked him what he meant by he called this living, and he said nothing. I don't know if you've noticed, but the feeling of this place is depressing. Look at everyone."
Do we know where the nearest town is? Maybe we can get more information there.
This road leads to it, apparently.
There's beer up there. Or at least he says there is.
He said there might be.
well, we're going to have to head into town anyway, so I recommend we head on.
Hopefully the beer they have smells better than whatever you brought on the boat.
Yes, that was terrible, Chris. Why did you get that crappy beer? Should have got the stuff I got. It was better.
Taki and Druidic. I'm surprised they drank out of that last barrel. That was the one that Remus peed into.
Well, there's the road. Let's follow it. Have my barrel on over one shoulder, my warhammer over the other, and woohoo!
Is there somebody waiting with that cart that they're unloading stuff onto? Or is it just a random cart that they're putting things on?
At the moment, there's no one waiting by it. No, there's a few horses that are nearby, sort of on a tether post, but the actual cart itself, they're just currently loading things onto it.
Is there a common area or an inn in the general location?
Well, you're pretty sure that building's a barn. The other one, you're not quite sure of. It's pretty run down. You can't really tell what it is from the outside. There's no signage or names or anything. It looks like there used to be a spot for it, but it's currently half hanging off and is faded beyond recognition.
Okay, I guess we gotta make it into town, so let's head on, guys.
In we go.
Alrighty, you all start to follow the path, and it's taking some time. You've been walking, and as you have, the port, if you could even call it that, was on a little bit of a lower altitude, and the trail kind of goes up a little bit. And as you do, you start to and keep on walking. It almost seems to grow a little more. You walked past some trees, and it looks like you're almost going into a bit more of a forest. And as you keep going, it almost seems to be looking a little darker and darker, and it almost seems like a fog is starting to roll in as well. Start seeing mist, and it's gradually getting relatively thick. After yet a few more hours, it's starting to grow a little bit dark, and give me a perception check.
How far?
Everybody?
Everybody, or as many as people want to. Alrighty, we have results. Okay, Darian and Raven and Groose, you all start to see what almost looks like a bit of light coming from further down to the trees and off the main roadways, and it's looking like it's a fire or maybe a few fires. You're not quite sure.
Maybe they tell us how much further it is. Over there. And I'll point.
Let's approach, but let's do it carefully. I don't like this place.
I set
agree.
my barrels like on the side of the road. So
It does remind me somewhat of Niflheim.
Gesundheit.
Alrighty. As you all start to approach, you gradually actually start to hear people singing and dancing as you approach the fire.
That's a change.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what they're singing? What the song is? What they're saying?
You don't recognize the song itself, no, but it at least seems to be in common. You're making out what they're saying, but it's not a song you know.
Ho, the fire! And then I remember, oh yeah, Darian wanted to approach carefully. Oops.
Too late.
Way to go. Smooth.
I'm always careful.
General will look at Darian. Something tells me that a lot of our introductions are going to go like this.
Darren just nods. Don't they always?
Mm-hmm.
Stride boldly forward.
Alrighty. As you do, you start to see that there's about a dozen men and women, and there are a few wagons, and looks like they're carrying a fair number of barrels, as well as some horses that are tied off to a few trees scattered around this little clearing that they found. Do you continue your approach?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Yep.
You head on in, and
Do ho the fire! Make sure they actually hear me.
so they, a few of them seem to stop the singing and dancing, although some of them stop and come to greet you and say hello. How are you? Who are you?
I am Groose, and these are my friends. We have come from capital across the ocean. We're looking for someone.
Seeking Barovia.
Ah, well, you're on the right path. My name is Stanimir. This is my daughter Damia, and my son Ratka. We're just taking a rest for the night.
So what?
So
I'm
what
sorry.
is the
What were
cause
those
for the
notes again?
celebration?
They're still alive. That's always worth a celebration.
What were their names again? I'm sorry, I didn't have my notepad open.
The one who initially introduced himself and talked to you is called Stanimir, and then he also has his daughter Damia and his son Ratka.
Vodka.
Ratka. Let me put in chat.
General will glance around at and just kind of take in the whole setup and comment. Well, you appear to be the most cheerful individuals we've met so far.
Bruce will point to the barrel of alcohol because they have that.
I can assure you, it is not due to any alcohol, but we are the Vistani, and we are a joyful people.
The Vistani. Would General have ever heard of them?
Roll me a history check.
Man, I see it's going to be like that for me.
Oh, and we have the first crit of the campaign.
Yeah, it was just a skill check, though.
Still counts. Still counts. So you all remember that the Vistani. Well, some of you. Some of you remember that the Vistani are a bit of a curiosity. They're a more somewhat nomadic tribe of people. And in reading through the various texts that you've had access to, the Vistani seem to have, like most of the history books that you've read through and tales of Vasloria, seem to have stopped mentioning the Vistani about 2 centuries ago.
All right. So when he says Vistani, General her eyebrows will shoot up and say, "Now that is interesting. We haven't heard anything of your people for quite some time. Have you been here this whole time?"
This whole time, we've only recently, well, I say recently, but we've been in Vasloria for some time. We haven't been there for that long. I think I came here when I was a young boy.
So what brought you to Barovia?
Our horses and wagons, to make light of it. We're wanderers, and we've been spending. Well, we spent a few generations here. We tend to move on as every so often, but have not moved on from Barovia as of yet. Our time has not come to an end here.
We are led to believe there is a town up ahead along this path. You wouldn't know how far that is.
The town up the path, Barovia. Yes, it's should just be another day or so, perhaps.
Ugh.
Do you mind if we share your fire then?
Of course, and if you are willing to, then I have a story I can share.
I love stories.
General immediately takes out her one of her tome and ink and quill to take notes on the story, kind of write down some of it.
And Darian will sort of crouch by the fire and take off his gloves, stick him in his armpit, and then just hold his hands in front of the fire.
How do the Vistani seem to be treating Raven at this point?
No, nothing really exceptional. They're just if they take issue, they don't show it at all.
Okay. Share their fires tonight.
As you all start to settle in around the fire, you see Stanimir start to kind of get close to it and make some motions with his hands. We come from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten, a land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander the lost roads. And he sort of creates a dark shape in the fire, and with it seems to show a man being knocked from his horse with a spear in his side. One night, a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst with wine. He survived. When we asked him who he was, he wouldn't say, but all he wanted was to return home, but we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him as one of our own and followed him back to his homeland. His enemies hunted him. They said he was a prince, yet we didn't give him up, even when their assassins fell upon us like wolves. And you see that same dark figure before, standing with his sword drawn, fighting off a host of shadowy shapes. This man of royal blood fought to protect us, as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and he thanked us. He said, I owe you my life. Stay as long as you wish, leave when you choose, and know that you will always be safe here. And then the shadowy figure in the fire just vanquishes his final foe and disappears into a cloud of smoke and embers. Stanimir's face becomes a somber mask. A curse has befallen that prince, turning him into a tyrant. We alone have the power to leave his domain. We've traveled far and wide, and leaving little calling cards here and there to try to bring people to our domain. We're seeking to end our dreadlord's curse and put his soul to rest. Our leader, Madame Eva, knows all. She can be found in Barovia, the town you are going to.
Madam Eva.
Hmm.
Well, I
Do
think we
funny
should
things
speak
with
with her.
fire.
If you would like, we're planning on returning to Barovia, and if you'd like, you are free to join with us and ride into town with us.
That would be wise.
Goose will let out a big yawn. Very well, I sleep over there.
Bruce is looking for the people who attacked his tribe. They had a banner like two snakes facing each other, like this.
The general will pack away her book and quill and ink and start setting up a spot for her bedroll.
Same here. I'll set up my bedroll somewhere between the fire and the part of the forest.
And Darren will find somewhere warm.
Yeah, I'll sleep as close to the fire as is polite.
Don't think I actually have a care there.
I will take first watch this night. I don't like this place.
Goose will just start snoring.
It's like that, is it?
He offered watch.
General will look over at Stanimir and ask, why are the people that we've seen so far here so sad?
One second.
I'll be right back, guys.
Oh, Phil, you want to reflect Revan's name change in your character note?
Maybe. Done.
Cool.
Sorry, this trying to flip through. They put a lot of information in a lot of different places.
What? You don't have it memorized?
I do not.
Useless.
Well, we're a couple of hours in. Do you want to take 5 or?
No, it's fine. I actually just found it. So it's a complex thing. Some of these individuals actually don't have souls, or
What?
at least not any real ones. Yes, it's true. You may find that some Barovians might be lively as we are and as you are, but others may be less so. And those that are less, they know nothing but fear, no charm, hope, or spark of life. They're shells, just living, surviving, even barely.
How is this? How does this come to be?
It's a curse of this land, in one put in place by the Dread Lord.
This Dreadlord, does he have a name?
Bob.
He does.
Will you tell us this name?
Madame Eva has the answers you seek.
Hmm.
I mumble in my sleep. Useless.
Right. So at this point, I think Jen Reel has been around Groose enough to where she's got a piece of cloth that she's wadded up to go kind of stuff in his mouth or his nose or whatever to keep him from snoring and mumbling in his sleep because he's very loud.
Brrr.
Pardon. If I don't do this, no one here will sleep tonight.
She speaks the truth.
Scares off the animals.
No
Funny.
souls. That's fascinating.
The funny thing is, it happens every night. Bruce doesn't know that it's us putting stuff in his mouth, and he just thinks that's just a normal part of life. That's how it is for everyone.
Wow.
Why do I always wake up with stuff in my mouth?
Oh, we all do.
Completely.
Guys, get some rest. I will take the first watch. Me and Remus will keep watch.
The party hazing continues.
Yeah. No souls. That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more concerned about the fact he said this land is cursed. What have we got ourselves into?
Aha! It's it's perfect. We're here. We'll raise the curse, and then I can go home again.
So
I know
since
we're only
Raven,
PCs, but we're first level. Come on. I struggle with the rats.
hey GM, So, just a quick comment. Since Raven really only experienced a tidbit of Barovia, and that was with the hag, does he have any insight as to the curse upon the land?
No, she never mentioned anything exceptional to you. You seem to perhaps have something faint in your mind, but some little locked away nugget, but beyond that, you're not quite sure.
You need to change your push to talk key.
Yeah, like one of the
Yeah, I do.
control keys on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Or
I'll
do
get
like
that
I
taken
do
care of.
and get like an Xbox controller and use one of the buttons.
Middle mouse button.
If you have a mouse with more than 3 buttons, button 4 is pretty convenient.
Yeah, I use my thumb button on my mouse.
Me too.
Yeah. Except that it's also back in your web browser, so that's inconvenient.
Yeah. I set my thumb button. I programmed it to be my pause break key. Nothing ever uses it.
Ah, smart.
Yeah, most of my mouse buttons are dead, but I actually still have one that works, so change that up.
All right. So, pondering the discussion that we just had, General will kind of roll over and try to get some sleep, but she is deep in thought about the state of this place.
And as she ponders, the night wears on, and the rest of the Vistani go to sleep as well, and with just a few staying awake and keeping watch as well throughout the night. And then day breaks, and the Vistani are a bit of an early rising bunch, and start to pack the provisions they used overnight and set up, and pack those in the wagons and start to tie up the horses. And as they're as that's still going on, they start to wake up those of you who might have tried to sleep in, and let you know that they're about to start making the way here within the next hour or so.
Cruz surprisingly wakes early.
With cloth in his mouth once more.
I ate cloth again.
General is one of the ones who slept in.
Remus probably woke up with the daybreak and woke me up.
So they tell you that, and unfortunately they do not have enough horses or wagon space to carry all of you, so you will have to walk.
Walking
Bruce
is
looks
good
at
for the
his-
soul.
Bruce looks at his feet. I always walk. How different. Very well.
All right, so they start making their way, and away you go. Then, as the day wears on, you all seem to notice that the sun doesn't quite get as bright as it should, and the fog's not clearing up as much as you normally would expect it to. Seems that the mist is weighing heavily along the land. Then they
it is
start.
cursed.
True. As they start to carry on, they start to travel through a few mountains, and they turn around the bend of a stream, and as they do, there's a camp not too far away, and at where the river bends yet more, and from the path you just took, and they say, so it seems that Madame Eva has set up out here, and if you would like, this would be a very opportune time to meet with her. She's usually in the town, but appears that she and those with her have decided to set up camp out in the mountains.
She sounds wise. I would like to meet her.
Yes, indeed. Let's see what this wise woman can tell us.
I agree. Let's go.
All right. So they kind of stop and meet with their comrades, and as you can get from looking at them, you realize that they're Vistani as well, and they point you towards the largest tent, telling you that is Madame Ava's.
Are we allowed to
Bruce.
go introduce ourselves, or do you want to introduce us?
Bruce will look uncomfortable as if he doesn't see a place to knock.
She's already waiting for you.
Okay.
That was convenient.
I go in.
Is she?
Yes. Let's go see the old woman.
Is there room for all of us in there?
Absolutely.
Cool.
It's bigger on the
We
inside.
go in.
Yeah, it's like a TARDIS.
What's a TARDIS?
That was out of character.
It's kind of
Or
like
are
a
you
Columbus.
I know.
So, as you enter the tent, you see magic flames cast a reddish glow over the interior of the tent, revealing a low table covered in a black velvet cloth. Glints of light seem to flash from a crystal ball on the table as a hunched figure peers into its depths. As the crone speaks, her voice crackles like dry weeds. At last you have arrived. Cackling laughter bursts like mad lightning from her weathered lips.
Ah, she's quite mad. The perfect
Oh, great.
advisor.
Ah, Groose the orc risen, Donar the lost son, Genriel the daughter of Frost, and Osmar the far monk, Raven and Remus, those who know this place, and Darian.
How do you know our names?
Family secret.
So
You,
why is there such a pall upon this place? Can you tell us what curse there is upon this land?
that is something indeed. That curse is born by the lord of this land, and I'm afraid that as long as he lives, so shall this curse remain.
Well, there seems a pretty simple resolution to that.
Right. Take him out.
How long has this land been cursed?
It depends on your definition of time.
I have absolutely no idea what that means.
Few do. Perhaps it is you. Not many people come to Barovia often nowadays. And she kind of gets up, and if you would like, perhaps I can find some additional information for you.
We are here for a reason. We're here seeking a woman. I give the name and a description of the woman.
Well, we found a woman.
I don't think this is the
It'll help you in sticky.
Well, There's a prophecy, you see, that this land might be freed from its curse should the right group come and try to save it. Let me find my parchment. And she starts to kind of go off to the side, and Ryle go through a pile of different parchments and scrolls that are on a desk off into the corner of the tent. Not that one. That's who will be the next Prince of Capital. Don't need that. Save the world. No, don't need that one yet. Then she kind of takes one and starts reading through it. No, that one's been solved for a century. Don't even know why we still have that one. Here it is. And she pulls out one of the scrolls and starts to pour over it and just double check that it's the right one.
Cornbread? No.
Gumbo.
It's the family gumbo recipe. I don't need that. And I actually think now would be a good time for a break as she inhales to start reading the prophecy.
All right.
So let's go ahead and take 5. How do I do a poll? Or the ready marker thing?
Just
We're back.
It's kind of out of character, but as we've adventured in the past, who would we consider was probably more of our team leader?
I'm not sure if we've got one based off of how crazy we are.
well, probably don't want to leave it to Groose to pick.
Well, we also probably need to wait until we've got a couple actual combats under our belt in this to sort of figure out who fits that best.
Melissa, because we all know how much she likes leadership.
F you. No.
And then she's like, and I'm gone.
And
Like,
she's
wait,
out.
no!
Yep. I'm back on hiatus.
I say let the wolf win. Remus is in charge.
Remus kind of cocks his eye.
Right, we were talking to the lady.
We might as well let
Yes.
the wolf be in charge.
Right?
He'd probably do a better job than any of us, to be honest.
Madame Ava, pops out and kind of unrolls the scroll and then kind of frowns out a little bit and then just kind of flicks it lightly just to, get it to vibrate and throw off a bit of the dust. And says, here we go. And then as she reads the prophecy, she says that there will be items and allies that will assist in curing the curse that plagues Barovia. There is a fallen house guarded by a great stone dragon. Look to the highest peak. Find the mother, she who gave birth to evil. What you seek lies in a pile of treasure beyond a set of amber doors. Evil's bride is the one you seek. And there is a vault of temptation hidden behind a woman of great beauty. The evil waits atop his tower of treasure.
Okay, we're gonna have to get that in slower pieces.
I got fallen house guarded by a great stone dragon.
Look to the highest peak.
Do you have that like in a parchment that we can take, or is that something you can show on the screen?
I can, yeah, I just need to type it up there.
Find the mother. Treasure beyond amber doors. Evil's bride. And was the treasure beyond the amber doors? Was that the one that was guarded by beauty or something like that?
It is listed under the Notes tab under Prophetic Writings. I don't know if I could share it.
Yep, it's shared. I can read it.
Ah, okay. I just didn't know how to push it to the group at large.
You can drag it and drop it, or not. That'd be good. There. Nope. Oh, yeah. There. There. There it is.
Okay.
I can't drag and drop it, but the GM can.
She scribbles the details down and hands it to you.
Any roles that will help us decode this pathetic writings?
You're free to try.
When she talks to the stone dragon, I looked at Donar. It's like, are we sure it's a dragon, not a serpent, right?
Which
Dragon is
skill
a
do you want
serpent.
us to use?
Wait.
Let's
I
make
thought
this fun.
serpents had no fun.
Whichever you think would be most useful.
Could do a history check. Oof, nothing for me.
Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? I don't think I have a whole lot of great skills. Insight might work for those of you. Maybe. No, wait, never mind. That's basically body language. What about investigation?
I did investigation. I got 17.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Yeah, beat me to it. Let's see. Well, bollocks. I guess history is the only thing that I have that is actually trained. Huh.
Does it need to be a trained skill? Or can we use it untrained?
That's weird. My
You can,
numbers don't match with what I have on Hero Lab.
you can use untrained skills. Proficiency is just like you're better at it than expected. But yeah, you can use skills. Some that might be useful might be perception, nature, investigation, history.
Do we just get one roll each, or
I'll keep it to one roll each, and I'll so for your case, Raven, I'll just go with that first investigation check.
Okay.
Oh Lord, I see. What the hell? What the hell, dude? I have to adjust my stupid character because apparently it's got stats in the wrong place.
That's what you get for using Hero Lab.
No. What the problem is it added the isomar, and it's using the default isomar, not the scourge one. Okay, so history. Yeah, I don't know. I was never very good at paying attention to what the Norns wrote or said.
I have not run across anything in my studies that mentions anything like what we've heard here.
The best that you all are able to come to the conclusion is that look to highest peak must be referring to one of the mountains around. Madame Ava says, it's a particularly cryptic one. Perhaps you might be able to find some additional information or assistance in Barovia itself.
Can she tell us anything about the actual big bad dude? Because what's his face? Stanimir said that Madame Ava knew more when Genriel asked, "Does the evil overlord guy have a name?"
Yeah, if you start asking, she says, the Dread Lord Strahd.
Guy from the title card?
Yes.
Oh, so that explains. Okay, that makes sense.
So do any of us know about Strahd?
Oh, right. Yeah, we didn't check for that.
I believe we did, and Genriel, whether she chooses to share it or not is up to her, but Genriel remembers mentions of that upstart Strahd.
Okay. Yeah, she will divulge what information she knows about Strahd and his history. And I would assume that what she knows pretty much lines up with the story that was told at the campfire.
Yeah, you're able to put two and two together and know that the man that Stanimir was talking about, the prince from that the Vistani aided, was indeed Strahd, and that the Prince of Frost regarded him as some sort of upstart or newcomer. It seems like he's relatively new on the stage that they all play on.
All right. So when she shares it, she will only make mention of him as far as like knowing it, as far as like in her studies. She is not sharing anything about her affiliation with the Fae or the Prince of Frost with the rest of the group. So when Madame Ava addressed her as of Frost, she looked fairly unhappy with that revelation being put out there.
Well, okay, so
Madame Ava, we did come to Barovia on a quest. We are currently seeking a woman by the name of Irina Kolyana. And I give a brief description of what she looks, what the, I show her the bounty or whatever the thing. Is there anything you can tell us about this woman? Have you heard anything? Can you direct us in a proper way?
I believe that she is indeed within the village. Yes. She. Let me think. Yes. She is the daughter of the town's burgomaster.
Meisterburger?
Burgomaster.
Do we know what
Money
that title
man.
means?
Money man.
Yeah, you can put it together. So, village leader, sort of.
Gotcha. Daughter of the burgomaster. All right. Which way is this town that we need to go to?
It is just a little further along this road. Should take not but another 2 or 3 hours.
Is there anything we can do for you as you have given us such information? Is there any way we can return the favor?
Follow the prophecy.
We will do our best. I think it's time for us to head to town, people, and find this Ariana Kolyana.
Very well. Ethan, I have a question.
Yeah.
Have there been like game and fresh water and berries and stuff like that along the way, or is it barren?
It's largely barren of animal life. You may have caught sight of a few berries, but they don't exactly look like the juiciest berries you've ever seen.
Ah, okay. What about water?
Yeah, they are actually camped by a bit of a river bend right now.
I mean, as far as drinkability.
Doesn't. I mean, it's not crystal clear like pouring from freshly melted snow melt, but it looks drinkable enough.
Okay, so should we be using rations then? Because it sounds like forage isn't going to feed us.
If you have them, it can't hurt. Although for those without, the Vistani we're traveling with, we're more than happy to share some food and water with you. It's again particularly bland and not, you're sure not the healthiest of foods, but it's enough to survive on.
Yeah, that'll do. The reason I asked is because one of my features is that I can feed myself and up to 5 people as long as the land provides, but it sounds like it does not.
Oh, you and I have both Wanderer.
Yeah, I'm a wanderer.
So I think it's time for us to part ways with Madame Eva and head on to the town.
All right, General will start to gather her things and head out of the cart.
All right. As you head out of the cart, Stanimir meets you out there and says, hope the meeting with Madame Eva was most helpful."
More questions than answers.
Madame Eva does work in mysterious ways. I am sad to say, but I believe this is where we part. Knowing Madame Eva is here, we shall make our stop here. We were intending to go to town for her, but if she is here, then so shall we be. So I'm afraid we cannot carry you the rest of the way into the village. However, if you ever need us, we shall be here.
Thank you for your hospitality. May the road fall always under your feet.
You as well. And he kind of does a little bit of a bow and then walks away back towards the rest of his family and the other Vistani he was traveling with.
I guess we start heading off towards the town.
All right. You guys start traveling down the road, and then you start to, after about an hour or two, and you figure you must be getting close to the village by now, you almost start to smell something like death.
It wasn't me. No. I call my stuff.
Remus is
mouth
particularly
was
troubled
open
by it. Yeah, Remus starts to almost kind of I don't know the word for it, but Remus is not enjoying the smell.
Is he balking at it? Is he
doing that thing
seems
where
to
they
be
open their
at
mouth
more
really wide?
heightened?
For us
Feels
violent, for us violent
he-
types, is it a familiar smell?
It's the familiar smell of perhaps a deer that's been dead for too long, or a dead wolf that's been left outside for some time. And Remus is he kind of seems to know which direction it is, but it just seems to kind of.
Well, being here, it's entirely possible it's a person.
Something's dead here.
Do we want to check it out?
We're adventurers. We probably
Kinda.
don't think. Yeah, we would probably think. Let's that's shiny over there. Let's get distracted.
So
What is that
Darian will
horrible smell?
adjust his sword belt a little so he can get easy access to his sword, and we'll start trying to investigate the source of this smell.
Perception check to see if we can narrow down the source.
Go for it. And roll for Remus as well. And as this is relying on smell, Remus will have advantage.
Ooh, we didn't even need it.
What's advantage do in 5e? That's like double.
It rolls
2
2 dice and
d20s.
you take the highest.
Okay, so it's Boon Bane. Gotcha.
No,
And there's
advantage.
Yeah, and I think there's the
Well, it's Boon Bane in Mongoose Traveler 2nd Edition.
no, and you also have to select advantage or disadvantage. There's the buttons on the underneath the chat
I
window.
saw those. I just wasn't sure how it worked.
Yeah, Remus, and then both Raven, you're able to follow it as well. You head off, and about 30 feet from the road, you find a half-buried human corpse. And it's of a young man and looks to be relatively common, but you see that his clothes are torn and raked with claw marks, and it looks like there have been some crows at the body, and there's some paw prints scattered about as well. And you find a crumpled envelope in one hand. Looks like he's been dead for several days.
You say he's half buried. Is he intentionally buried, or is it just like the undergrowth and stuff that's buried him?
The undergrowth.
I investigate.
While they investigate, I will chant the chant of the dead.
I'll investigate, and I'll also the scene, and also, if need be, use medicine to determine how he died. So, do you want me to do an investigation medicine roll?
Let's do the
I'll
investigation.
also look at the note too.
Okay. As you start to investigate and eventually bend down to pick up the envelope, you hear several howls, and which causes Remus to go alert, and you see yellow eyes glowing in the brush and growling coming from that direction as well. And that is where we'll end it.
Ah,
Wolves.
Cool.
very dangerous.
Yay.
Question: how are you going to do XP?
It's going to be milestones, and so essentially, as you find items related to that prophecy or make major accomplishments, it'll just be a full level.
Gotcha.
Cool.
That's the way to do it.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with 5e.
Yeah, 5e is it. I mean, in general, 5e is experience based. However, with Strahd, they have enough milestones in there that you can get by with just, and now you're level 2.
Well,
Cool.
for me, I don't like for characters to be different levels. I like for everybody to be the same level. So I like milestone either way.
All right, awesome. Well,
So, how many wolves are we detecting?
You
we'll
are
find that out
picking.
next week.
We'll find
Yeah.
out next week.
Cool. Well, I'm going to, unless there's anything that you want to bring up right now, I'll end the stream because I want to catch the FnordCon GURPS panel.
Oh,
Yeah,
are we going
absolutely.
for the day?
Thank you all for watching the stream, and as usual, if you have any gripes, comments, concerns, or other feedback that you wish to share, feel free to. And we will see all of you lovely people next week.
Feel free to send them to Gruce.